What is going on, YouTube? Dustwood here, and I'm joined by Tyler. And today we're just going to talk and discuss about the upcoming set, the Secret Forces of what's going to be in it, is it going to be a good set, and all that good stuff. So sit back and let your inner loads just be blown. So, the main question is, will the Secret Forces set be any good? Will it have lots of cards support in it? The answer is yes. I mean, if they're going to have the Yosengus, I mean, we got two of them from
Secrets of
Eternity. Niklas, or Hermits as they're going to be called in,
Necros?
Necros, and then Hermits, which are the rest of the Yosengus. So overall, the set is probably going to it's just going to have so much good support and, cards in it and decks and
I personally think the set is going to skyrocket in price after, because, it's getting an Bistro or Dweller reprint after how long has the card been out? I mean, and it's a $20 card, and it's being reprinted as a secret rare now.
Yeah, and with Jin being reprinted as well.
Yep, they're also reprinting Preparation of Rites, which is like a $25 card. I don't know how much it usually goes for the median or anything, but I mean, it's like a $25 card. That's still really expensive for a ritual. I mean, for a spell card, still. And that's getting reprinted. Manju is like a $5 card, but it's super rare. Of course, it's going to go up. Hollow.
I just like the fact that Abyss Dweller is being reprinted after 3 years it's being reprinted. All I have to say is it's about time. I mean,
same thing with Lavalval Chain. I mean, Lavalval Chain was made in the Dual Terminal, 7, I think, and Hidden Arsenal 7 when it came out, with the Evil Swarms in Hidden Arsenal 7, because that was the last Hidden Arsenal set. And that card definitely needs to reprint, but I don't think it's getting reprinted in this. They're not going to. It's like $100 card now. It's crazy. That card is $100. Yep. I don't know who the hell's paying $100 for Lavalval Chain, but I'm not doing that shit. I'm sorry.
Nope. I love YuGiOh, but I'm not spending $100. Yeah, I have my budget limits. So yeah. Now that we got that, what deck do you see, or support-wise, what deck support, whatever, do you, like out of the upcoming set?
Personally, I like Necros. I know I'm going along with the bandwagon here. Everyone's in the Necros bandwagon. I know. I'm excited about it. I really am. I want this deck. And yeah, I love how a ritual deck is coming back and it's actually smashing other decks. I love it. It's good to see that, especially with Yosengus. Yosengus are insane. Yosengus are good, and I personally love wind archetypes. Wind archetypes, I love it. I like Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon is amazing. A wind dragon that doesn't even look like a wind dragon, and it's just amazing. That's good. I just think it's good. It has so much access. You can use Moray of Greed, Salvage, Surface. It's just so good.
And the thing with Necros is they're just gonna have so much support right off the gate, because since they're all water monsters, you could use Gishki Shadows, Gishki Vision, I believe, to just use it as the entire tribute. Then you're gonna have Sail-2 or Spirit-2 or whatever the other Necros is that can count as the full tribute.
Yeah.
So they're going to have 3 monsters right off the bat that can just count for, the Slice of Armor with level 10. Just boom. Level 10 with, I think, 3,300 attack it has.
Yeah.
So, it's just going to have so much support off the deck, and then Savage, Moray of Greed, since they're all going to be water monsters, you just, recycle your cards in your hand, draw cards, get cards back from your graveyard, add to your hand. So, I think it's just going to, Necros is in general are just going to come out and explode because they're aggressive. Very aggressive. They're just going to cause matchup problems for extra deck because what is it, Trishula or Bryanak. When it's summoned, you can banish one. You can banish
That's
one
Trishula.
card from the hand, graveyard, and field. And then Bryanak, once per turn, you can target one or two monsters from the extra deck, return them to the extra deck. So I mean, they're just gonna cause a bunch of nightmare problems for decks.
I just can't believe how good Bryanak is. Just Bryanak is so good, and like I know he's like I think a 6. I think he's a level 6, but it's so good. It's such a good card, and I mean I know the deck can be like weird at sometimes and everything, but it is such a good card. That is, Shula is good, and they actually, I don't know, a few people might know this because I don't know how many people are going to watch this and be like, oh yeah, what is the Necros of Sophia? Well, the Necros of Sophia is the new boss monster of the deck next to Decisive Armor, because Decisive Armor is a level 10, I think, and Sophia is a level 11. Sophia is crazy too, because if, you know how, the lore to this is they're all armored, all the armor on these people is from Dead Dragons from the Hidden Arsenal series. Sophia is a hard-ass card to get out. You need a ritual, a synchro, an XYZ, and a fusion to summon it. And then you block your opponent's field and kill them. But I've seen it get summoned. It's a good card. But they made the Necros of Sophia, which is a level 11. I honestly think they're going to make a level 12. What it's going to be, I don't know. How it's going to be, insane, definitely insane. Considering that you can use Kaleido Mirror and just be like, send Star Eater. Here's my Sophia.
See, that's the thing that I love unique about Necros, or Necros. I'm gonna call it Necros because that's, you know, even though they're called Necrosses, but you know, I just feel it's so unique because they have 3 ritual spells. One's already out in TCG, and then the other 2, which is the one you just said, which allows you to send one from your extra deck, so you can send you can send a Quasar, you can send a Star Eater. You know, that's possibly the easiest way to get a shooting star dragon. Is Quasar, use XYZ 2 Bryanak because they're the 2 level 6s. Exa Beetle, and then you know use that effect, and then boom, shooting star. You know, I just think that's so unique that they just have 3 ritual spell cards that they could just use to just, you know, explode.
And I know one of them you can banish cards from your graveyard. Maybe it's like 2 of them or something like that. I know it's the Exo Mirror, the Kaleido Mirror, and the Cycle. The Cycle was released in Secrets of Eternity along with the Dance Princess and Gungunner. Gungunner's good too. For a secret rare that's $20 right now, and like it's an ultimate rare too. That card's so good. It really is. Preventing the destruction of your Necros by just discarding it is so good. Bryanak's a searcher. So is I think Shrit. I think that is a searcher for your spells. Bryanak searches your monsters. So it's plus on plus on plus on plus. And I mean, I'm not saying there are other decks out there that are just not compatible. Recently there was a card found, and I was looking at it. I think it's the Mirror of the Ice Barrier, and this is the counter. This is just the counter to Trishula, because when it banishes a card from, it's a spell card. I think it's a continuous spell too, or maybe just a quick play. Sorry. And when you use it, because Trishula banishes a card from the hand, graveyard, and field, and now when you do that with the effect of the mirror is, I think, when you banish one from either the hand, field, or graveyard, you can banish 2 of your opponent's cards, and this is for your opponent. So when that Trishula goes off, he's banishing 3. You're banishing 2+, because I know it gets an effect for the graveyard, the field, and the hand. So you're banishing at least probably 3 or 4 of his cards. From hand, field, or graveyard. So it's like Trishula, okay, goodbye. Your hand, your field, anything. You can say goodbye to that Trishula. And I mean, there is answers to the deck, of course, there is. Like, Rivalry of the Warlords, I don't know, I think some of them are warriors, they may all be warriors, I'm not too sure. I know some of them are spellcasters, like the Archmage, but I just love the deck. I know I'm on that stupid Necros bandwagon, I just love the deck. I absolutely love it. I just like rituals doing good. Ritual's doing good. Like, because when they released in Duelist Alliance, they released Saphira, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It's only like a level 6 Ritual. I like the card personally. Someone I watched make a deck out of it, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's like not an expensive deck either. It was just really, really cool, and I personally like Ritual decks a lot. But on the other hand, what deck are you looking to see do good out of this?
I mean, I'm huge on the Necros, and the Spirit Beast, but I'm a huge jump on the bandwagon here, the Yosingus. I mean, I like Necroses. I know that they're explosive, and Yosingus might be. They're good. They can be aggressive, but they might be slow going. Since there are a couple pendulums, and the fact that I think Yosingus can just cause mashups because, I mean, when they're normal summon, if you don't XYZ at the turn, they get returned to your hand.
Yeah.
So, and like 3 of them is you normal summon one and then special summon another one and go into Tiger King because they're all Beast Warriors.
Yeah.
So, Tenzu and Tenki, the 2 most fire formations, are going to make this deck so good. It's just, and, Tiger King,
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Dieback, which is like the boss monster, when it's normal summon, pendulum summoned, you can I think target 1 or 2 monsters on the field and return them to your hand, their opponent's hand, and then at the end turn it just goes back to your hand. So it's like once per turn if you can pendulum it, you're just bouncing 2 cards from your opponent's side of the field back to their hand.
Yeah. So you're getting pluses off of that. Plus, you're getting your monster back. I mean, there is the downside, of course, to getting your monster back. It's like, oh yeah, I can pendulum summon that 1 card, but off that 1 card, I'm sending yours back. I'm sending your cards back. I don't care.
Pendulum summoning. I'm bouncing 2 of your cards back into your hand, and and the fact that they're all Beast Warriors, so it'll work well with Fire Fist decks, of course, and Tiger King, and the Fire Formation cards in general. But also another card this deck will get support off is the Divine Wind, Mist Valley or whatever, the field spell. Because when a card is returned to their hand, you can special summon a level 4 or lower. Mm-hmm. So that's just screaming out to this deck. Even though it's at 1, if that card specifically went to 2, this deck would just be explosive, in my opinion. I mean, it is explosive, yes, if you can, it might be slow starting. Mm-hmm. But if you can manage to wait a couple of turns, special summon, get Tiger King, and then Tenki and Tenzu on the field to get that extra triple summon, you normal summon, and then you can normal summon again with, I think, Tenzu. Then you have 3 monsters on the field that you can attack, and just beat your opponent with them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that, Yosingus, since they are wind, and I love wind, so, this could work well with, Harpies maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think, with the way Konami's going, they should honestly, and they want to give support to these new decks. They do. I know, we didn't get Stratos back for Heroes.
Yeah, I like to see Volcanics get support and see them returning from Blaze Accelerator. That gave me, I'm a huge Volcanic fan, just because it's, an old deck.
Yeah,
in general, and it's like a Synchro XYZ deck. So, I mean, to see that deck just get one card, which is Blaze Accelerator, it's just a tremendous card for a trap. But with Yosingus, I mean, I just feel, they can just be explosive at times, and with the fact of being able to just return to your hand, it can be, Cool Forts and Burning Abysses, because they won't be able to target. With their effects. So I'm going with Yosingus.
And no one, I think people do know, the people who have used Yosingus, they have their own Solemn Judgment, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't
in the trap card. And the thing is, you don't even have to tribute a monster. You just have to unlike Stellar Knight, you have to tribute a monster for their version of it. With Yosingus, you just have to control one, and if a spell, trap, or monster effects activated, counter spell, boom.
Exactly.
You don't even have to tribute. You just have to have one on the field. You can have a field full of anything else, and then just have one Yosingu on the field, and then boom, counter.
And you don't see that often anymore. I mean, I know Stellar Knight's got theirs, but like no one's really using
Stellar
Stellar Knights.
Stellar Knights, though, you have to tribute a monster. Your singles, it's saying no tributing, just counter, and boom.
It's just a plus. I mean, yeah, I know your monster does return to your hand sometimes. Like, unlike, like, I know Magat will, like, Magat can stay. But more of like the ones that are like the 4s, the like the Kamamatachi or the other ones. I think there's only 3 right now.
Yeah.
But like those ones I know return. But like Magat. And
Magat returns. I think Magat is when it's summoned. It can when it's normal summoned. It can special summon one from the deck, I believe, and then it returns to your hand. Because the ones we got was Magat and then Tusik, I believe.
Yeah,
Sujik or whatever. It's a good one, but I think that's effect is if your single monster's attacked, you can discard it. It gains 1,000 attack. And then it has another effect.
Yeah, it has 2 effects. I think the secondary one is a little better, if I remember it correctly. I know you can give 1,000 attack by discarding it. I mean, that's not bad, like just hand trap on it.
Counter punch. Battle Boxers have counter punch. You can banish it, and it gains 1,800 or 1,000.
No, it just gains 1,000. But I mean, that's still crazy. I know you can only use once per turn, but still, it's
I mean, it helps. If this deck was the light archetype, Honest would just be all over this. But it's a wind, which, there's not too many good.
Its pluses though.
Yeah.
It's like another deck that I think could, like, I'm not saying it will be, or it can be, is the Gustos. The Gustos are all wind, and they're a synchro archetype, and I think this deck.
The Daigustos?
Yeah, like Daigusto Emerald, or another.
Yeah, those are
high price card.
Yeah, I'm starting to see Gustos, Daigustos, whatever, come back.
I think they will.
This format, I've seen a lot of old decks come back. Spell books are starting to come back a little bit in this format. Which is something you don't see very often since they got hit pretty hard. If they came back, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, Gear Gears are starting to do something, even though Gear got hit to 1.
Yeah, I know.
So
I mean, they still work. I mean, I honestly think the deck, the super heavy Gear Gears, I still think that is working, will work. Same thing with the people who have obviously made the super heavy samurai all monster deck, because that's how it's meant to be. But obviously there are those people who don't use it too. I still like the fact that it's turning into a synchro deck, and I love it. It's pretty cool. But Yosingos are something else. They are. They're really good, especially for a pendulum archetype that only right now has dieback.
I think 3 pendulums. No, 3 and dieback. They might have 4. I can't remember. It's 3 or 4 pendulums that they have right now. So, especially with right now, the most pendulum archetype is Quilliforts, because Quillies are just ridiculous, because obvious reasons. They can just normal summon themselves 1,800 beat stick off the bat.
And they're all 1,800. They're all going up. It's just towers.
It's just and they have 2 of their own. I'm going to say they have 2, of their own god cards, because one, you can just make your opponent like discard or something, one card.
Yeah, or destroy, or like you choose on like the field of the hand.
Yeah, and
or maybe the graveyard.
The other one that came out, you could freaking take control of an opponent's monster for a turn. So I mean, it's like a snatch steal for 1 turn. So.
Or you can just tribute it.
I just hate Quillies. I mean, honestly, I love Pendulum, but just Quillies are just. I just don't like Quillies. But with Yosingus, for it being a win archetype, you can probably mix this with, Harpies maybe.
I can see that.
The Mist Valleys, since they return to their hand, Mist Valleys and this would probably work hand in hand, since they both rely on returning one another to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
But
I still like to see the Gustos.
As for Yosingus, I like them. Now, for Spirit Beast, for all the Spirit Beast lovers out there,
yes.
I'm not saying anything bad about Spirit Beast. I personally think they'll be a good, deck. They have, 3 fusions right now?
I think so, yeah. And I know they're getting more.
The thing I find unique about Spirit Beast, they don't require polymerization. They just banish. Nope. And the thing, they just banish. And the thing I find most unique is during either player's turn, you can just return that to your hand and then just normal summon one of the banished ones you used, or both of them.
I like it because it's like constant recycling of everything. Your graveyard, your banished stuff, that's getting recycled, and everything. It's recycling, and I like it. It's a constant cycle. It's consistent, really, really consistent, and I like that in the deck. The same thing with like I still do think Yosengus are sort of consistent, but like Necros, I know they are. Not for the fact that they that has a lot of discarding, but like there are also hard matchups for these decks, like decks that won't allow you to discard. Then there goes that discard effect for the Necros. The returning to the hand. Some things might not be able to return. Defusion.
Yeah.
That might not. I'm not too sure how that's used because I'm stupid like that. But I'm not too sure if you can use defusion on something that hasn't used polymerization, but you might be able to be like, oh yeah.
Well, see, I just think just they have 3 right now, but after they can just fusion themselves, banishing, and then if they're about to get bottomless, compulse, or something, they can just return and then get those 2 monsters back because it requires a spirit beast and a noble, so they can just special summon them 2 back, and then during their next turn they can just fusion them back if they can. So, I mean, it's just endless, banish, your get back, special summon, fusion, and I just personally look for this deck to just,
I think these 3 decks are going to be going head to head for where they're going to be.
At least until one of them gets hit, which probably the one I see getting hit the first out of all 3 might be Necros.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see Konami just being like, no, this deck is not allowed to be used anymore. But you can still use Shoutout after all the time that after the couple months that Shoutout is reigning top at YCSs and tournaments for nothing being hit. Other things got hit. But Sinister Shadow Games could have got hit. Something else could have got hit. Any of them. In Japan, they hit Construct and Winda down to 1. In Sinister Shadow Games, I think is at 1 too. That just shut the deck completely down. And I know they just insanely, I don't know what's wrong with Konami, brought back and errated every single ban card from my childhood, but I have no clue why they did that. But they're doing that. They're starting to go crazy. I still trying to get it through my head why they unbanned Snatch Steal. Just waiting to see what comes off the ban list next.
Next thing you know, Yadagrass is going to come off after a 10-year heist. But, freaking, I just, as far as the deck-wise, I would probably rank, since these are the top 3 main decks that are coming out, there might be some other cards that get support. But as for these 3, in my opinion, I'm going to rate it probably Yosengus, Hermits, and then Spirit Beasts. And rank-wise, not saying that Spirit Beasts are bad for all the people that love Spirit Beasts. I like the archetype, but not saying anything bad.
I think that a lot of people are because I think when stuff was first starting to get leaked from Konami, I think a lot of stuff was just Necros getting leaked at first, and when all this stuff was getting leaked, everyone was just like, "This is crazy." Necros are just these things are getting really good.
It's who doesn't want a ritual version of Shula and Bryanak, 2 of the most explosive dragon synchros in the game?
Yeah, and they're banned. They're banned. I know Gunganer isn't banned. I think he's at 1 or something, or maybe that's Dulurin, but still, they're
Who doesn't want the ice barriers? Ice barriers, some of the most explosive dragons, synchro dragons in the game. So when you say Trishula and Bryanak are getting printed in a virtual form, of course I'm going to be like, no fucking way.
Yeah, and everyone, I remember people were making videos. I remember the names of some of the videos, and not calling anyone out. I don't really remember too many specific people besides one person. I'm not even going to go against this man, but it said the true form of Trishula. And then they made one for Bryanak, and I think they eventually made one for Gungnir, and Colossalos, Unicorn, all of them, besides Decisive Armor. But, like, the thing is, they're not the true form. They're the armor put onto people. And, like, immediately when people were hearing about, like, Trishula and Bryanak coming back, or something about it, people were just going on that bandwagon like, yes, I need this back. And
their effects are just the same. Like Bryanak's effect synchro version was you discard a number, then you can send that many number from back to your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Well, with now it's just as similar because once per turn you can target either one or two monsters from the extra deck and just shuffle them back into the extra deck. You don't even have to discard. It's just once per turn.
Yeah.
Boom. So Bryanak is going to be the one card that's going to cause a lot of nightmare problems for people that use extra decks a lot, like decks that revolve around extra deck, like Shaddolls. They revolve around getting
Construct
and Winda out. So that's just going to cause a lot of problems for that. And then Trishula's effect is similar to its original. Was when it's summoned, banish one from the field, hand, grave.
Mm-hmm. So and I know it had like the original Trishula. Now, don't take me personally for like knowing the first effect of the dragon that wrecked the game when it first came out. I mean, I know when Trishula came out, it was just destroying everything. I know it had to have been. I was out of the game, but its effect was crazy. Yeah, obviously.
Actually, Trishula's effect is the same as it was synchroed, because when it was synchro summon, you could have activated this effect to remove one card from your opponent's hand, field, and grave, except the card was chosen by random.
Yeah.
Now you get to choose it.
So it doesn't even matter.
So now it's the same effect, just like, I get to choose what I get to banish.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of made it more power giving, like, I'm going to banish this. I'm going to choose to banish that in your hand. I'm going to banish this from your graveyard. So, But yeah, when those two cards coming back, two of the most explosive dragon synchros you could possibly imagine. Like Ice Bears, some of the most, my most favorite deck to play, still is, even though they're hit.
Hard.
When you hear about Bryanak and Trishula coming to Rituals, you have to see it to believe it. And when I heard about that, I was like, Wiki, gotta see this shit, And
I mean, like people were on that, and then I remember soon after the Necros were let out, the Neclos, the Yosengus were coming out.
Or
the Yosengu, and then everyone was like, man, dude, this is an interesting little wind pendulum archetype that people are actually using. And it's like, people like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
I personally think that, like, that is just gonna, Yosengus are gonna do a lot. Ritual Beast, like, I'd like to see their matchup against Shaddolls. I really
Ritual
would.
Beast, I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, I've seen a couple videos on, on Dev Pro and Dueling Network of people using, Shaddolls and Spirit Beast. That seems like an interesting archetype, because, you want to target my Spirit Beast, where the Spirit Beast person can be like, okay, screw you, I'm going to use this effect, turn it to the graveyard, get my Noble and Sacred, or Noble and Spirit Beast back onto the field.
Yeah.
And, especially since I think, is it one of either the Noble or Spirits or Psychic monsters, so you can run Psychics with the deck and just make it 10 times better. So
I think I've seen that curve.
Yes, I have seen it. Yeah, I run one on Dueling Network. I run a little bit of Psychic monsters in there, but one of the synchros that I think will help this deck out a lot is Samsara, because when it's if somehow your Spirit Beast manages to get destroyed, you can just special summon him from one of them from your graveyard, and if you have one of them banished, you can just get a Noble and Spirit back onto the field and then put that back into your extra deck. Another card that'll help this out is, of course, Lightning Chidori.
Oh, God.
Since this is also another all-wind type deck like Yosengu's, also, Yosengu's, that deck is just going to abuse Lightning Chidori like hell.
Yes.
which is good for back row because not people still use back row because most now the game's mostly OTK type style.
Game's over by turn 3 or 4, or even less than that, turn 2.
Yeah, with Lightning Destroy, you detach and then target a set card, destroy it. So, I mean, and not to forget, since Spirit Beasts do a lot of banishing, Livre, the Sea Dragon, will just explode in this deck. Because there are a lot of level 3s, I think, in Spirit Beast deck.
I think so. I'm not too sure of how they
or
work.
Ritual Beast deck, whatever they're called.
That deck has just so much special summoning going on too.
It does, and it's just gonna Yosengus. They're just gonna come out and they're just gonna already have support almost.
I just like the fact that I'm trying to remember the art. Oh my god, Yosengus. Okay, so. Everybody is using Vanity's Emptiness right now. Everybody is using Vanity's Emptiness. We already know that card.
Mainly because Vanity's Emptiness is because, for the, Quillies and the Burning Abysses. Well, yeah, Burning Abysses.
It's just, like, so many people are using that. Well, actually, everyone uses it. What am I kidding? I'm not kidding myself. I mean, everyone's using it.
It's a good card, personally, if you have it. If not, you're spending like $15-20 on one copy of it.
Yeah, no, it's going up to 30-40
bucks. It's a
bucks.
good card if you have it. If not, you're spending. I'm not gonna say wasting if if something you want, but you're spending like $15 on it, and if especially for 3, which is what most people run in the side deck or main deck is 3, obviously. It's a good card. It's just easily destroyed because if a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, boom, destroyed. So it's good to stop someone from getting that window or construct, but
yeah, I mean it's just like I've heard it, and I think this is smart when people say that it balances out the game. It does, but like just think of the way the game was when Soul Charge came out. Soul Charge at 3. Now remember, no one cared about giving up their life points at all. And I've seen Satellar Knight matchups where people will use 3. Like this is when it first came out.
Yeah.
Yes, this is when it was not at 1, and I don't like. And people didn't care. They'd be like, stuff gets sent 2, special summon off of that. The chain goes on, and then the next turn, if it's gone, they're just gonna keep using it. They don't care about giving up their life points. I don't think many people are caring about giving up their life points.
Many people care about nowadays. If this was 2 or 3 years ago, everyone would be like, oh no, I can't. The game's changed so much then, but obviously nowadays people don't really care about giving your opponent life points. Like a lot of decks now run Upstart Goblin.
Yeah.
A lot. If that was a couple formats ago, people wouldn't be doing that because obviously you don't want your opponent having 1,000 life, gaining 1,000. But now since the game is just so based around OTKing now, it's just okay, I'll draw a card, give you 1,000 life points. It's not gonna matter anyway. So, yeah, but
the game is taking a different curve now. It really is, with all the OTKs that are going around for everything, absolutely everything. I mean, just look at it seems like we get support for everything. It'll be like a couple sets we'll get support. Look at, I know Burning Abyss is constantly going to get support because that's a TCG archetype only for now. But Noble Knights just got support obviously because they're an old archetype. But we're going to constantly get support for stuff like Necros and Yosengus and Ritual Beast because they are getting support in the next couple sets. They're actually all 3 of them. Are getting Pendulum. Oh no, I'm sorry. Not Necros. Necros do not have one. Oh yes, they do actually. I'm sorry. They do. They have one in the form of Exa. Exa is also a Pendulum. It's a different one. But I think it's got a rank 7 scale. I mean level 7. I'm sorry. I'm so screwed up. But they're all getting. They are all turning into Pendulum decks. I don't know really where the curve is going to come from, where it's going to go with Necros, because they require a ritual summon, so you can't just you can't just pendulum summon a ritual monster. But
kind of cheap.
Yeah, I know, especially with all their effects.
If there was a way to work around that, you can like if the pendulum effect was, oh, you can, for the archetype, of course, that is.
Yeah.
You can only pendulum summon blah, blah, blah. Like, Quillies can only pendulum summon Quillies.
Yeah.
So if they did do that to Necros, it's like, oh, you can pendulum summon ritual monsters. Okay, then you just took a turn of OP-ness.
Yes. But where they're going with that, I personally think that, the Ritual Beast, because the Ritual Beast did get one so far. They have a pendulum, and I forget the name of it. It's like a Pelika. It's Pelika something, but remember, this is also an OCG name. But they have one, and they're getting a pendulum monster, so they're obviously going to get another one. So did Necros. Now, I don't know where it's going to take Necros, really. I know and they're for all archetypes: Yang Zings, Satellites, and Shaddolls. Shaddolls are getting one too. And I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be like, you know what? Oh yeah, if Yang Zings and all these other ones get one, then Shaddolls don't deserve one. They have enough. Yeah, you know what? Shaddolls stop getting some. Shaddolls been getting support in Secrets of Eternity, but Stellar Knights did. So I mean, Yang Zings didn't. So I mean, it's weird because Stellar Knights have been kept getting support, but it's not that good. Capella, no one's using Capella. Sirius, people are using Sirius a little bit, but it's the way I think it's going with future sets is they'll make stuff better a set or two after, and then it's no. Because I eventually think they're going to stop making good support for Burning Abyss. I don't know if they're just going to, it's with Noble Knights, because Noble Knights obviously came out with that one card every single set, one or two cards every single set, and then they waited. The deck didn't get good until Madrot, Boars, Excalibur, and then but the thing that they're doing with Burning Abyss is making it way worse, and they're coming out with an extra deck monsters, a spell or a trap, and we're getting 3 or 4, 2 to 4 monsters per. We have a Synchro, a XYZ, and that's it for now. But I mean, turn the deck into a pendulum deck and just watch everyone die. I mean, I don't know where it's going, truthfully, but
Adam, I'm not a big fan of pendulums. Well, pendulums is okay. When pendulums were first announced, I thought Konami was trying to just end the game. But it doesn't seem like people pendulum that much. At least from the duels I can't speak for everybody, but it seems like from my experience in my duels, not a lot of people do it. Of course Quillies do, because they're pendulum deck, and that's the only one people do right now is Quillies.
Yeah.
But if you look at Performance Pals, which have the most, that was the first pendulum deck archetype besides Time Gazer and Stargazer and Eyes, which aren't even pendulums. They can just pendulum anything.
Yep.
But you look at Performance Pals, with them getting 2 new cards out of Eternity, that's a pendulum deck that's been around since it's been out, and no one even touches Performance Pals really. It's just the ones that just are explosive. Performance Pals, in my opinion, with Trump Witch and the other one that came out, I think Performance Pals can be relevant.
Yeah.
If you just make the right build and mix them. With Trump Witch, you can just mix out any fusion deck Frightfuls or Fluffles or whatever, and just once per turn you can just fusion without even having to use a poly.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they're going all over the place with where they're going with archetypes, because it's weird. I think it's every set since Duels to Lions, New Challengers, Secrets of Eternity. I think they actually given support for the Performance House, but they've been Shadal, Satellar Knight, Yang Zing for those. Yeah. Yes, and then they went Clifforts, and then still giving a little Satellar Knights. Now they're going Infernoid. And I know Secret Forces is a whole different set. It's the Hidden Arsenal-esque set. But they're introducing or giving new support, but then they're like, oh yeah, let's bounce to something else. They're bouncing all over the place, because we still have more Frightfur and Furnimal cards coming out. there's still more fusions. I think there's like 3 or 4 more fusions that we have not gotten yet. So, I mean, they're bouncing all over the place, and I know we're also getting another pack called World Superstars, but that's for older decks like Chronomalies and Star Seraphs. But what I'm trying to say is, like, they're bouncing all over the place with these archetypes. And I know they're going to give that tiny bit of support for like the three big ones.
Yeah, like, let's get back on subject of Secret Forces.
Yeah.
Since we dragged a little there, but the thing that I see with the Secret Forces, yes, it's going to be a good set, probably one of the better sets in recent, besides
Duelist Alliance.
Duelist Alliance, if you want to count Secrets of Eternity, since Infernoids came out, and they got Secrets of Eternity came with a lot of support for older decks as well.
Oh yeah.
If you want to count that, but if you just count Secret Forces and just Eternity in general, what I think Konami does is they release one major archetype, like Infernoids, for example. They release one major archetype in Infernoids, and then they introduce support, deck, support.
Mm-hmm. It's like I honestly absolutely love the thing they're doing with like giving support to old decks. I absolutely love it. I hope
Elemental
they keep
Heroes,
doing it.
like that structure deck, like Mist, Dark Law, Contrast Hero. Now we just need Anki and Elemental Hero Core, but
no, I mean I understand that obviously, but like I honestly think like the old support thing is going really good in my opinion, because you can make look at Kawaki Meros, Diamond Core and Overdose, one of the two, I forget, but like that just got support. I mean, that's insane how how all these old decks are getting support. I'm like, obviously the Hero Structure deck was amazing, but all the old support is good. It is, and I think they should keep it up, because take a look at what just happened at YCS, and Volcanics just smashed everything. Volcanics, how old is that deck? Ask yourself how old that deck is. I don't know.
He's talking about quote to Anthony Ellenburg for his profile showing the Volcanics. But yeah, back to Volcanics. NYCS with Volcanics, XOing old new decks, Quillies, Burning Abysses. That right there just shows give support to old decks and they will explode. And they only got They only got one card to support them, and that was Blaze Accelerator. And that one card alone, because now they have technically 2 copies of what is it called? Is it Accelerator or something? They now have 2, technically a spell and trap card of that one card to just explode. And that's only one card that they got to just explode. So imagine if Konami decided, oh hey, let's give I don't know, Emeralds or Gem Knights, one card to support them, just to see how aggressive that deck could get, because Konami.
And I honestly think, I know we're going way off the subject of Secret Forces here, but I honestly think that Secret Forces is going to change the game.
I think didn't mean to cut you off there, but my favorite set was Shadow Specters. I say Shadow Specters because of Vampires, because of Ghost Tricks, were my 2 most looked at, and from Shadow Specters. And now with Forces coming out, I think this can be the next big set next to Shadow Specters, because I'm just a huge zombie nerd, and that's why I say Shadow Specters. But I think this can be the next big set, because we're getting 3 new archetypes in Hermits, I'm just going to call them by their OCG names, Hermits, Niklas, and then Ritual Spirit Beasts. So, I mean, I just think, I give props to Konami for saying, oh, let's, make a Ritual deck, let's make a Wind Pendulum deck, let's make a
fusion deck that doesn't use polymerization anymore.
Yeah, I give props. That's an amazing idea. Now just give support to older decks. Like
Yes.
Gym Knights. I love Gym Knights. They're good.
And they just did. Like I know their support wasn't the best. I know they got a normal monster, which was I think Gem Knight Lady Lapis or Lapis. It's a normal monster, and I think it's one of their only normal monsters. Don't count me on how many there were, because I don't know. I know that was just another Hidden Arsenal-esque type set. But they got the fusion Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli. This card is actually good. It's actually really good for what it is. I think Gem Knights got better.
Gem Knights are just. They have gotten support in recent sets. I think they got one in Alliance or something like that.
Yeah.
But, they just need no more support. Like, yeah, it's an old deck from GX or whatever, but just give original Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I don't know, more support.
So I just I think they should keep it up. Like the fact that obviously they're going to keep going with Infernoids, obviously
because it's a brand new archetype for TCG at least.
Yeah, but they should keep going with the old decks because they'll get that one or two cards. I know people don't use the deck that much anymore. That the Wind Up Zen, they just got a trap card.
Yeah.
Yes, they just got a trap card. That's good. It's actually an amazing trap card. I really hope people start using this deck that I'm able to say, please look at Dragoonity Divine Lands. Give it a look. That card is so good. No one realizes that Divine Lands just made that deck so good. I mean, I think it's wicked good. I love that. The fact that it gave a Synchro Hidden Arsenal-esque type set the support that it definitely needed. I know nothing's hit in that deck, like the divine, the wind, the divine wind type esque, because divine valley is at 1.
Right. But
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's giving that little bit of support. Just look at what Volcanics did. Take a look at what Volcanics did. That one card, screwed it. Clifford's, Burning Abyss, Chudals, anything, whatever. I know it faced Klees and Burning Abyss and smashed them. Just smashed them. And, good for him for making this deck work. Again, it's old. It's so old. And that's another deck that you can honestly make for a budget. Wicked budget deck.
Sure, it is
just
a budget deck.
Just
budget decks, but, back to support-wise, since we seem to be talking about that now, Battling Boxers. Yes, they got, Battling Boxers. You love Battling Boxers. I like them. They have that one OCG card that I don't think has came out yet, but you can special summon it by detaching and then special summoning. So, when that comes out, I know the name, but I just can't think of it.
I do.
I think it's Shadow.
Yes, Shadow is the one that has the highest attack.
But you can special summon it by detaching from a Battling Boxer XYZ special summoning. So you can just detach from Lead Yoke, give them 3,000, and then special summon, and everything like that.
That's good, but also the so many pluses that you're getting from Nova Caesar. Nova Caesar is the XYZ that we have not gotten yet, and Nova Caesar is insane, so good. I know I always get screwed up with Nova Caesar and number I think 86 Rongomayant. I always forget which one is which, but Rongomayant's absolutely dumb too. For just generic rank 4 XYZ, stupid card. So good. I know you have to detach materials from it. Stupid card. I've won duels on Depro because of it. It's a good card, yes. But I honestly think just wait until the support comes out. Battle Boxers also have an unmade, not even an OCG. It was just on the show, I think. They have a spell card that lets you special summon from your hand. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It's just special summon from my hand, and it's really?
Yeah.
That's it? You're just gonna give that?
Some other cards that got support in Eternity were what? Do.
Yep.
Go. And just support, deck support. I think that's what Konami does. They release a couple decks, And then the next couple sets is just support, deck, support.
I just think they should, with the Necros or the Singlers and the Ritual Beast, keep it up.
Yeah. So in the closing of this, to sum up, from Secrets of Forces, Necros, Yosingus, Ritual, Spirit Beast, all coming out. Reprint of Manju, Lava Volcane, Abyss Dweller after like 3 freaking years to get
Preparation of Rites.
Preparation of Rites. The other one, Brother Ritual spell.
Advanced Ritual Art.
Advanced Ritual Art is all getting reprinted. And then support wise, Volcanic's getting Blaze Accelerator. Elemental Heroes getting support out of the structure deck, and Mist, Contrast, and Dark Law. So, that pretty much sums it up. Anything you would like to fare off to?
I don't think so. I mean, I know we went off track so many times, but I just think the set is going to be good, absolutely amazing. If you have the money, make a deck from it. Try to make a deck from it.
Yeah, definitely.
And
it comes out the 13th, which is next Friday. So mark your calendar. Secret Forces comes out for all you Hermits, Necros, and Ritual Beast lovers. Comes out next Friday. So get your money ready and go buy that box.
Yeah, I honestly think, like, this is my last saying. If you can, trade fodder, because you can get it for other people. You could easily make this deck if you buy at least 2 or 3 boxes. Most of it, at least. And I know there's 20 secret rares, 40 super rares. That means they're limited on what they're going to make for secret rares, because they can't make all of the Necros cards secret rares. They cannot do that, because already a couple are secret rares, like a Abyss Dweller and Mayusengo Daibak. So I know Trishula and Bryanak are, but just remember that they can only make certain number of cards super rares, so it's not going to be insanely expensive for you Necros players to make that Necros deck. I do think certain cards are going to be expensive, so I mean, I personally think getting a box or 2 is not bad. It gives you trade fodder, it gives you a chance to make a deck and trade for the cards that you need to make a deck. So go for it, either buying 2 boxes or instantly buy the Necros cards or some of the Yosingu cards. I just think Necros cards are just going to blow out. Buy it. It's a good investment. Always. Boxes have risen already. Boxes on certain websites I've looked at have risen $10. I think buy it.
Buy when it comes out when it's cheap. It's all like, hey, if you want to go like websites, pre-order a box, so that way you have it when it's $65, brand spanking new, or I think $65, including taxes. So, but or go to your local card store where it might be $10, higher, but it probably end up being the same price as shipping. But February 13th, next Friday, it comes out. So all of you lovers of all the decks and all you want in the reprints of Lavavol and Abyss Dweller, time is almost upon us.
So pick it up.
Also, I forgot what I was going to say, but just sounding off. Next Friday, 13th, Secret Forces comes out. Just, get ready for it.
This man won't be making opening videos, people, so get ready.
I just have a feeling this deck, this set is just going to be one of the very best we get in a very long time.
Yes.
So, mark your calendars. It's coming. So, until then, Dustwin and Tyler are